Gentlemen, awesome to be back with you on MGTOW Money. Today's topic, how this crypto guru really makes money. Before we get to that, thank you to the ongoing support from the Patreon investors in this channel, as well as those men that bought me a cup of coffee based upon the last video via PayPal. Men, thank you, and welcome to the MGTOW Money Army, Blank and Douglas. Thank you for becoming the newest Patreon supporters of this channel. Men, see the video description today. Become a Patreon supporter of this channel. And before I continue, kudos to Stardust, who recently did an excellent interview, probably the best interview I've ever heard him do, and any other person I've heard in a long time, with a gentleman named Kai Chang regarding China and the Chinese mindset, etc. I'm going to include a link to that interview in today's video description. I highly recommend you listen to it. It was outstanding. And furthermore, coincidentally, for several months, I've been thinking about doing a video regarding investing in China. It is going to be very contrarian to, I think, a lot of ideas out there. So that gives you something to look forward to. Again, kudos to Stardust for that excellent interview with Mr. Kai Chang. And furthermore, I want to encourage you to set up today's video, a video I did before about avoiding investment suckers, because I received an email, men, and I'm not going to tell the source. It's irrelevant. It was just sort of a broadcast email. And it says, quote, it is a discussion of a cryptocurrency, quote, one little known crypto could soon turn 50 USD into $2,000. And it further says that this one is, quote, it's about to go on a tear. What's coming next in the crypto world could create more wealth than the earliest days of the dot-com boom. Well, hey, who doesn't want to get on that, right, men? Who doesn't want to make a small fortune as you could have done? I mean, this is pre-Bitcoin days, the way this man is talking about. So what can we take from this guru, this crypto guru? One thing you need to understand right off the bat, men, if you've spent more than about 15 or 20 minutes looking at investment videos, whether they be in crypto, stock market, etc., these men are selling a service. They're making their money, you need to hear this very clearly, they're making their money selling subscriptions to their service. Period. End of story. If you take nothing else from this, the vast majority of their money, I'm betting $4 out of $5, 8 out of 10, 80% of their money is made by selling you and many men like you their subscriptions to their guru service, to their, quote, predictions. So, men, if you're seeking a Nostradamus, it ultimately is going to cost you, because, I'm going to say this very clearly, no one can predict the future with regularity. Yes, of course, we can all predict the future on a short-term basis, occasionally, etc. We can get lucky, we can have some things go in our favor, etc. But on a regular, consistent, long-term basis, it is frankly impossible. It has not been proven that anyone can do so. Men, you need to ignore these track records that a lot of these gurus attempt to portray. Only in hindsight can they show you their quote-unquote winners. So, number one, you don't know, was that luck or skill that they came up with those winners? Number two, how do you know that they're showing you all the winners and all the losers? Just because they're talking about 1, 2, 3 predictions they might have made correct, what if they made 10 or 20 in total predictions? In other words, what if they're only discussing the winners and they're forgetting all those missed predictions, all those times they were wrong? Furthermore, many times, as I'm sure you've seen, they're talking about averages. Men, I've talked about this before. Averages, of course, can be very misleading. For example, don't cross a river that's an average of 4 feet in depth. Your first step, of course, is fine, and the second step is that you're drowning. The point is, furthermore, with a lot of these averages, they're assuming that you've invested in all their predictions. So, for example, let's just say that they've made 100 predictions on 100 different classes of a stock, a crypto, etc. They're assuming you've invested an equal amount in every single one of them. You couldn't miss one, of course, in terms of miss one of their investments, because you would miss out on that particular average. In addition, it assumes, of course, that the future is going to be exactly the same as the past. We don't know that to be the case. We have no idea. Next, you need to realize how a lot of these gurus, of course, are using upsell techniques. Now, let me give you a very simple example. I've had this happen to me, and by the way, I've been subscribing to these services off and on for, about 30 years. So that ought to tell you something about my bias here. A lot of times they'll get you started at, let's say, $29, $49, $59, whatever a year to get you in their little publication, etc. But then they'll start upselling you on their special insider level or premium status or exclusive information only for unique subscribers. And it's not an extra $10 a year, it's $2,000 a year, $3,000 a year, etc. The point being is that they're getting you in there as sort of their gateway drug. They're starting you small to start moving you up the ladder, to start selling you something more. Next, you've got to realize, and this is extremely important, so many of these gurus are focused on fear, and fear sells men. Pessimism is very, very easy. Optimism to most of us seems reckless. I get it. I totally understand. And I'm going to have more to say about this in a future video. Many of these men will come up with indisputable facts and figures about catastrophes around the corner, about the world's going to come to an end, etc. Again, I'm sympathetic to that point of view. Again, I've been hearing this personally since the early to mid-90s. I am not new to this type of information. Believe me when I say that. The point being, though, you've got to be careful about losing your objectivity. You need to be balanced in your opinion. It is impossible for us to predict the exact timing of future market events, no matter what the particular market you're talking about. Stocks, bonds, forex, cryptos, etc. Predicting exactly when something is going to happen is virtually impossible. Furthermore, to use the cliche, in the long run, X is going to happen. Well, sure. And you could also say, in the long run, we're all dead. Most of us are not investing for some mysterious, far off, who knows what it's going to be like in the long run. Instead, we're investing for a mix of the short run, a la the next tomorrow to the next 12 to 24 months to maybe 5 years, possibly even 15 years. Men, let's do a quick summary here. Stop watching YouTube videos. Stop subscribing so wholeheartedly to gurus and thinking that this person has all the answers, etc. Of course, as I've encouraged from the very first videos of this channel, you need to educate yourself on all investment classes if you want to be wealthy. Ultimately, as I've said multiple times, no one cares more about your money than you do. Furthermore, you need to be careful when you do hear about men talking about their fantastic track records and all the great things that they've done and the average, etc. I've already belabored that point enough. But imagine, men, that you've made 10 predictions. You're only talking about one of the 10. Of course, you're ignoring the other 9 that you made. Of course, you're going to sound awfully smart, aren't you? In addition, they're probably going to suck you into, as they're getting your money, into taking on additional products and services they might want to offer you. I have no problem whatsoever recommending to some of you that you start with some of these cheap products, if you will, cheap investment letters, services that some of these guys offer. I'm not going to make any specific recommendations. However, if it's $50, $60 a year, give it a shot. You might learn something. And if nothing else, you'll be able to see from the inside in terms of how they operate, etc. Let me lastly say, men, one of the biggest motivators of you and all human beings is a fear of loss. And that's exactly what so many of them are selling, whether it be fear of missing out, whether it be fear that you're going to lose all your money if you don't invest it properly, etc. In 10 words or less, men, as I've said numerous times, investing in a group of non-correlated assets is the best way to get you to the rich life that you deserve. Men, hit the like button if you found this useful. John Galt, out.